2024 Chinese sweetmeat tray exhibition, which I've renamed Chinese Bonbonnieres, because a lot of people get confused about what sweetmeats are. So just to clarify, sweetmeats are not offal. Sweetmeats in the context of these sweetmeat trays are candied fruit and nuts. It's a particularly small genre in the overall Chinese pantheon of porcelain shapes, and I think that calling it Chinese Bonbonniere gives a better picture, description for the Europeans who is used to the bonbonniere as a form, as a cultural form, as a gift form. So what it actually is are just basically a collection of vessels, dishes, that you serve, traditionally you served after dinner. The first exhibition I ever did at Seven Terraces from my collection is the sweetmeat tray. And when I look back at the exhibition from one of our YouTube videos, there seemed to be quite a lot of it. But I think at that time, it was a much broader definition of sweetmeat trays. So it included wooden ones, lacquer ones, and even enamel ones. And you know, as the collection grows and is more curated over time, this time around I focused basically on the porcelain ones. Interesting of how these Chinese Bonbonniere sets morphed into different shapes and forms were, I think, the butterfly ones. The butterfly ones are the ones I used for the cover of the brochure that I wrote for the exhibition. And these are very pretty. I don't know how you use it because the vessels are actually quite, each dish is actually quite small, but they're just beautiful to just look at. And while there were only 2 butterfly sets that I owned at the time of the exhibition, during the exhibition I managed to acquire a similar butterfly set but with polychromes, as in like each segment of the dish was of a different color, and that was just so unique. I had a lot of people trying to buy it off from me. So if you look at the 3 sets of butterfly sets, it was coincided with the whole Art Nouveau range period, and so they were focusing on nature at that time, you know, the flowers, the flora, and the insects, and so the butterfly was very much part of nature, to be highlighted in Art Nouveau in China. What's different about this exhibition versus what was there 8 years ago is that it's a much tighter display. It's a much more studied display of the original shapes and how they morphed into the different segments over time, over 100 or 150 years, how they got simplified and how, you know, they changed in terms of form and use. And I think that that's very interesting to sort of like follow the journey of how these things had changed itself.